I mean, the way I look at it when it comes to finger picking, it's more the fact that I can play more than one note at a time. I can play notes on different adjacent strings. But I think really when I first started, it was more about, it was learning about trying to sound a little bit more interesting than just strumming a single thing, right? So, where do you start? So what I kind of put together here, kind of more like exercises as a starting point. I think what we can do, we won't walk through each and every one of these things, but what I want to maybe do is highlight a couple of these, kind of walk through it, practice it together. We'll maybe pick one, we'll apply it to a song.
Cool.
And then maybe just kind of do some different styles so you get a sense of where different styles are used. So I think for the most part where we'll focus today is, we'll start with, we'll focus on being able to do accompanying. So when you hear these three chord songs, great. You can play every song in the world, and if you want to strum it, that's great, but I think accompanying sounds a little bit better when you're playing with people. Rock ballads, that kind of stuff. You'll hear kind of a 4/4 pattern, or you guys might hear something like Blackbird. I think what's really cool about this stuff is that it looks difficult, but it's really kind of simple and it sounds really cool. I mean, you can't ask for anything better.
Sorry, maybe I need to interrupt just a second. Who are the guys who got your underwear locked in the room? What's up? 106. Trey.
Yeah, who's naked now? Who's butt naked?
No. You play your things out. The three of you, please go to your room now. What's your name? Sorry to take it.
No worries.
And these like the hair.
Yeah, because
So, and the reason that I kind of highlight that out is that when you learn these patterns, keep in mind they're going to be really, really versatile. So let's just give this one more time, and so you guys will get a feel about it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. The next one, number 2, is we'll follow the same chord structure. That way we can kind of concentrate on the different patterns. So the next one is
at the same time.
yeah. So let's just stay on C and let's just repeat the C's until everyone feels comfortable with the pattern. The other chords. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So another thing around that is you can always you can augment it a little bit. You can alternate the bass. See the same pattern, just alternating the bass. And that's the stuff that makes things a little bit more interesting. Typically, the patterns themselves you'll find are going to be simple. But what makes it sound and give it that unique flavor, it's going to be alternating basses, and it might be just slightly different rhythms, or like a double bass. So instead of playing here, instead of playing the second one, instead of this, I'm going to play this instead twice. honestly, this is a song sometimes instead of if I'm trying to do something and the strum is too harsh and that's too soft, I kind of find that to be kind of a nice simple way of keeping the rhythm. And I think it's also good to keep those fingers moving. So I think that's good. Let's take a look at number 3. I gotta pull these first ones out because they are there's some of these standard patterns, and there's a million and one of them. And I would say as you start playing more and more, you're gonna find something that's great. I mean, Fu is the guy that I would probably call out, and you can watch when he does his John Denver songs, right? You hear a lot of nice finger picking that's happening, or you will hear. The other reason for the finger picking is to play the chords, but also to put the melody in there. Let's take a look at number 3. So if you notice, it's only hashtags on the
Okay, you know this, hello everyone. Why I invited Daniel for this session is that you can, if you play in a normal song, the first or second, if you look at number 3, you'll probably use I am as a single note. Okay, what we want to do a finger picking is that try and play this PIMA using playing more like a chord player. Finger picking, that's why I call it finger picking. Okay? So those of you who are familiar with first and second and so on, look at this and see if you are playing the chords. Okay, finger picking, that's right. Okay, next, go ahead. Knowing what the alternate bass is. So typically if you're playing C, you're going to play G is the alternate. If you're going to play A, most of the time E is the alternate. And then when it comes to E, D. And G is typically E. Wow. So keep in mind, again, this is really more geared to be kind of an intro, so that's why I gave you these pieces. The next one, you'll see from time to time because it's more of kind of I don't know, arpeggiated. You'll get this feeling. So this one's a little bit different because you're striking twice at a time.
to be sensitive to, I want to be able to bring in sunny to the wood. So you've got some more complicated patterns. I'll just demonstrate maybe on a couple quick little things that I find that work well. And then maybe see if we can pick one out and do wonderful tonight as a group. It's a song that everybody knows, it's a simple pattern.
Right.
I'll make that.
Yeah, it'll be on the page. But one of my favorites is just it's just a nice and simple pattern, but you can decide where you base some days. Whether you want to do Blowing in the Wind or whatever song, it's great for company or ballads. So
Is that
this one isn't, but I mean, it fits so many different songs, different ballads. I mean, I think of farmer and a teacher, a booger and a riding on the midnight bus, bound to Mexico. I was headed for vacation, for higher education. Two of them were searching for lost souls. Same pattern, and the great thing about it, and I think if you find a couple patterns that feel comfortable for you, and find a couple songs that they think that they fit well, I find that to be the quickest way of learning them. Because you can look at something. It's not about being mechanical. It's more about it's more like getting that rhythm going, right? That bass. And that way, as you sing, people can kind of hear the harmonies, and people can kind of pick it up, and you can kind of learn a rhythm if you don't have a rhythm. So I've given you some different kind of, what we gave you guys here were some basic ones. But even the basic ones, you can make a little bit more complicated by simply alternating the basses, changing some of the rhythms. Not everything's going to be straight, half note or 8 notes, right? That gets kind of boring. But if you change it up, it sounds a lot more interesting. And the fingerings, you'll find out, you get to stick with the basic chords. We know that. You get to play with people, and if you stick with these basic patterns, picking patterns, it becomes a lot more fun, and it's actually easier to sing. I find that easier to learn, play, and sing versus trying to strum sometimes. Because my fingers already know the pattern, and I don't really have to do much. I just move from chord to chord to chord. So, as an example, why don't we try and do Wonderful tonight? So if you look at the very first one where it says G, you're looking at the very first string you see. It goes from first string down to 6. So it's saying the first note you're playing it's a 6th string, 3rd fret. Next one is 3rd string open, second one open, 3rd open, 1st string, 3rd. So the pattern looks like this. If you get back same pattern? So I want to do one last, maybe two things. So as a quick example, this is the, so like, if you go to Dust in the Wind, this is one of the first songs that I ever heard that wanted me to figure out how to finger pick. So I just got, there's just the intro section, and I'll just play it a little bit so you get a sense or a feel. That was like one of the first exercises that I did, because people seem to know the song, it's a little bit of syncopation, and that pattern, you can use it all sorts of places. So then I guess the one thing is, can I do one of the things, show one of the things? So I think the other cool thing about when it comes to finger picking is, I didn't see anyone else doing alternative tunings. The finger picking is great, but it even becomes better, I think, when you start looking at some alternative tunings that have basically open tunings. So I'll just give one quick example. And this is the music that's the last couple pages, the 4 plus 20. Starting in the 6th string, D, A, D, is it Korean ball?
Alright, D, A, D, D, A, D.
Yeah.
Papa.
Well, but what I want you guys to hear is, like, you know, you can take something, the song that you get from strumming is one thing. So you get a sense of what that sounds like. You can take this life, son of a woman, and the man who lived in strife. He was tired of being poor, and he wasn't in himself. So I guess I would encourage you guys to get the fingers moving on this side, get the fingers moving on this side, and try some alternative patterns and tunings, and just realize, I don't care if you want to move the guitar up and down the strum or you want to use your feet. You watch the guys that really play, they bang on these things, they do all sorts of different things with it. We just have to figure out how to get these fingers moving. So hopefully, I don't know, hopefully this is helpful, it gives you a couple starting points and some ideas on what you can do, some example songs of what it looks like. But I would say start with accompanying, and then, you know, that'll kind of naturally, I think you can progress more to like the classical pieces, and then into, you know, to some different sewing and that kind of stuff. Good, thanks guys.
Thank you. Okay, here, so